Hello, everyone. This is Kyle Jarrett from Kitchen Talk, and I am here with the Alexander family. I have here Chance and Taylor Alexander. They are the son and daughter of Stacia Alexander and Trent Alexander, who I had on the show not too long ago. And they have a new book coming out called The Alexanders, The Balancing Act. The Alexanders, The Balancing Act. 23 years. So I want to give a brief introduction first about this. We were on, and we were talking, we were conversating, sitting here for about 40 minutes, and apparently I had some type of Wi-Fi issue. So don't know what's going on, but we're going to try to reduplicate this thing and see if something is working now. So if not, we will probably reconvene again another time. But Chance, again, thank you for being here. Taylor, thank you for being here. We've already been talking for a while, so this is kind of crazy. In any case, if we don't see anything pop up here in a minute, we're going to stop this thing, and we may have to just reschedule. I don't know, because we should have some information popping up here in a minute. Matter of fact, we're going to check it right now to make sure, so we don't just duplicate this. Okay, and let's see. Yes, we do. We have people on now. All right. Now we're talking. Now this is going on. Okay. So again, I do apologize for those of you who are just tuning in with us here. We were on for about 40 minutes. Did not realize that even though it said we were connected, we weren't for some odd reason. But in any case, this is again Chanse and Taylor Alexander, and they had input in the book, The Alexanders, The Balancing Act, which is a book that their mother is writing and dad is writing in regards to raising a family, some of the struggles and some of the lessons learned from raising a family and raising a family with some foundation. And I was really happy to hear, one of the things we didn't talk about, I was really happy to kind of get an overall understanding of what the meaning of the book was. Mm-hmm. So when I got a call from your mom's press and a person, I was really happy about that. I was like, yeah, I would love to have them on the show. So we're just going to get back to those questions after we already spent about 40 minutes together. So excuse us, we might vary off a little bit. But you had some input in the creation of the book. Right. And we talked about that a little bit. Mm-hmm. Tell the people, because since we have to do this again, tell them a little bit about that. What input did you have in the book, and what kind of stood out in regards to that?
Right. I think what me and Taylor both had the major input on is that each chapter that we were part of, it wasn't like we had side commentary. Like in the book, you won't see, on the side, like on the sidebar, like a gray box and said Chance said this. No, we're in the book increasingly. So I think the best part about being in that book is that it wasn't just, oh, here's to add flavor. No, you are a part of the book just as much as we are. I think that's what our parents were saying. So at one point we were sitting in our game room and we were just talking. And we were just spitting off ideas at each other. And so we would say something and she was like, we need more from you. And we were like, what do you mean you need more? He's like, this is your book too. And that's right. One of the hardest things I had to grasp was that she really wants us to be a part of it. Right. So one of the major things that we talked about was how was our parenting, which, of course is how it goes. And we tried to say like, oh, it was good, like, but they wouldn't let the one word sentence go. They wanted something more. They were like, what was good about it? What was bad about it? Be honest with us. If this is going to be a book that's successful, if this is going to be a book that's true, you have to give us everything you've got. Right. So they weren't looking for brutality. They were just looking for honesty.
And that's just something that adults always want to do. I know as an educator, I always ask my students to elaborate. Don't give me yes or no. Mm-hmm. Give me yes or no, and then tell me why. Right. Tell me why. And so we want elaboration. I can understand what your mother was probably saying about that, because she needed input. She needed page space. Right. She needed to eat up some pages. Exactly. And also not just eat it up with junk, but she wanted something that was going to be tangible, that someone can pull away from this. I love the concept of someone of your mother's abilities and her professional status of bringing in her children who are not at her level. She must really think a lot of you to want a piece of you in this book. Taylor, we talked a little bit about your input, and when we talked about it, I asked, I think I asked you, what was in the book that you didn't really, what did they do? And they put in the book. What experience did you recall that you didn't think they did a great job of? And you told the story. Can you tell the story?
Well, okay, so we'll retell it. It was about corporal punishment, and we were young, and Chance, it was Chance and I, we were sitting eating. It could have been lunch or dinner, but he thought that I said either shut up or some curse word, and he went and told my dad, and my dad whooped me. Like, he gave me, but before he whooped me, he gave me a chance to say, like, what did I say? And I was so, like, I'm not good under pressure, and so I couldn't remember. I forgot everything. And so he whooped me, and after that finished, Chance said, he said, well, I thought she said that, and I don't know. Yeah, okay. And he said, he said, well, I thought she said this word. And so Chance said that he didn't get whooped, he just got a stern talking to. But I just remember being very, like, why didn't my dad let me get what I had? Yeah, why didn't he let me explain my point of view before he whooped me? And from then on, he did let me explain myself before he made any drastic decisions. And he said that he learned from that just as much as I learned from that situation, and I don't know if you learned anything from that other than not snitch on your
So,
sister.
if I understand it correctly from the way you told that first, after the corporal punishment, after the whooping, Chance then admitted that he thought you said what he heard, but he could not confirm it.
Yes.
So you then got spanked for something that we still don't know today, if that's what you really said, what he thought he heard.
Right.
So what lesson did you learn from that?
Me?
Or did you?
There wasn't really much to learn.
I didn't
get spanked or anything. I guess the lesson I could try and pull from it was just keep your mouth shut. Just keep your mouth just for the sake of it. If it doesn't need to be said, then just let it go. And I couldn't tell you why. I said what I said. It just did. It came out. It wasn't a bad situation. It was just a learning experience. Okay. So for me, no, there was no major kind of like learning process for me. It was just wow, like I might have messed up a little bit.
So the book itself is 23 years of the Alexanders raising families, making some mistakes. There were some good things. There were some bad things. That was one of the bad things. What did you? Let's start with Taylor on this. What did you contribute specifically? What did you say, hey, Mom, this needs to be in the book? And because I think this was a situation that we had that was, a great thing. It turned out well.
Well, and actually, corporal punishment is probably like the one thing that you thought would have been bad, but it actually turned out to be beneficial.
Now, see, and just the fact that you said that and you're 17, that just blows my mind. So I'm gonna let you go with that.
It blows my mind too, because I used to think corporal punishment was the worst thing ever, but it's effective in a sense, and I don't even know exactly how to explain it. But a lot of people take corporal punishment and beating and put it two and two together and make it like one huge thing, and they're two separate things. Like corporal punishment. And for us, our parents, they never did it out of malicious intent. They never whooped us or beat us to hurt us in any kind of way. It was for the betterment of ourselves, and it was portrayed in a I wouldn't say brutal way, but it was in a way that society doesn't approve of nowadays. And I thought it was very effective because I don't do the same things that I used to do as a kid, and I don't act like a child anymore. Well, sometimes I do, but it's not as worse as it could have been. And I believe that it was very effective, even though it hurt at the time, and you thought your parents were like, why are you doing this to me? But I think it's pretty effective for me.
So you actually liked that and said, hey, that needs to be in the book.
Yes. Wow,
that's amazing as a 17-year-old saying, hey, yeah, you got to put in a book that people need to, administer some corporal punishment to their children. You said you didn't get the corporal punishment thing too often, or did you?
I got it at a young age. I got a lot of it, but after a while, it started to click. Like, okay, for the pain and the whoopings to stop, just do what you're supposed to do. Ask questions later.
But you didn't catch on at first. You said you didn't catch on to a lot of simple things.
No, not at all.
What are some of those simple things you just could not catch on?
One of the simplest things was make your bed. I remember being like, we were living with my grandmother at the time, and I was in my room, and my mother was in the closet fixing up, and making sure everything was orderly. And she was like, "You need to make your bed," and I was like, "Why? It's my bed." And I jumped on it and sat there, and that was the end of the conversation. She left the room, went to get Mr. Brown, and came back and did what she had to do.
Okay, so just because I have a completely mixed audience out
yes,
there,
okay.
gender-wise and cultural backgrounds, explain who Mr. Brown is.
Mr. Brown is the leather belt. Yeah, it's a leather belt. It's the one you don't want to see. Your child does not want to see. But I saw him that day.
He does not want to shake hands.
No, not at all.
No one wants to shake hands.
It's
with
a
Mr.
very
Brown.
long and painful hand grip, but you get through it. So, and after that, the bed was made. The room was cleaned, and it took a little bit. Every now and